with Villa, with Tottenham, and we'll get your input in Newcastle as well. So I guess let's talk about Villa and Tottenham first and foremost. I think long term, the acquisition of Gerrard for Villa is possibly the thing that they need. Very good defensively, and the fact that he works with the 2-10s system could work very well for Buendia, and that seems to be almost the style that would benefit him most. Danny Ings might do well. The question that I have is what's going to happen with Ollie Watkins? At the moment, he will probably play up that top role till Danny Ings is back and fully fit. But then you've got, the problem with Bailey, you've got Buendia, and then you've got Watkins kind of vying there for two number 10 roles. And it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it might be tactically changed a bit. My guessing is that Buendia is probably the more nailed out of Bailey and Watkins, but you just don't know. But like I said, I think short term, the fixtures aren't on Villa's side. I don't know if they'll have a huge new manager bounce. It will take him time, Gerrard time, actually to influence and put his mark on the team. So it's definitely a wait and see from that. But going forward, I'll be interested to see once the team stabilize a little bit, maybe start getting clean sheets, because I think Matty Cash could be a great one. We've kind of seen how the wing backs have done at Rangers, a lot of goals in there and a lot of assists too. It could be another one of those situations, almost mirroring what we're looking at with Tottenham, that we want to look at some of their defensive assets when the team comes good. And like I said there, Tottenham defensive assets and possibly Son for me. We'll see how impacted Kane is as well. Inevitably at some point he will get back to his usual self. Although I say inevitably, nothing's assured in football. But again, I think a lot of people are almost steaming into the Tottenham assets. There's some really, really good fixtures over the next 6 game weeks. I think the attacking assets will probably benefit more, and we'll wait and see a little bit. But my word of warning is it took Conte a good few months at Chelsea when he went in there with a Chelsea side that had a lot of better players, and he had a pre-season as well to kind of implement those ideas. Whereas Tottenham, he's coming in at time of turmoil. You've got the festive fixtures ahead. He does work quick, but the revival maybe to get to those elite levels might take time. And also, do they have the personnel at the moment? So Lynn, with Villa, with Tottenham, are you kind of bringing in any of their assets?
Once again, not at the moment. I do really think Gerrard will turn Villa around, and I will definitely be interested in their fullbacks for sure. I also think he could do a lot with Danny Ings and Watkins and the partnership up front. So it's exciting times for Villa. They could definitely come out this on the good side. So yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on them, but he's got to prove that, like you said, they need to keep a couple of clean sheets at least before we start getting them in.
Yeah.
And
I guess as a Liverpool fan as well, is it nice to see Gerrard in the Premier League again?
it's a bit bittersweet, He's a Villa coach, and Liverpool and Villa are playing next week. That will be his first game. So it's a bit bittersweet, but it's also good to see him.
And yeah, I guess with the Tottenham situation as well, Son, is he caught your attention at all?
Oh yeah, if I was going for a Spurs player, I would definitely go for Son. I'm still not a big Kane's fan. I wasn't even a big Kane's fan last season when he was scoring a lot of goals. I had Son most of the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did score a hat-trick for England, but it was against Albania, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And if he's essential, then Jordan Henderson should be essential too. He got a goal and an assist. So I don't think we should read too much into that.
Yeah.
Definitely something to keep in mind, but don't read too much into it. So I'm waiting for him to score at least 1 or 2 before I consider bringing him in.
Yeah, just not against Albanian defences.
I'd just like to chip in there. Kane's actually scored 4 tonight. at the time of recording, so it's half time in San Marino. He scored 4 against the plumbers and the accountants and the whoever.
It's always a measure of good quality. Like when a striker scores 4 against San Marino, that's kind of the time that you have to bring them in FPL, isn't it, Ben?
Flat track bully.
But it could be really good for his confidence to get these goals in. I'm not saying it's not a value, but I'm still a bit skeptical, and I'm waiting a game week or 2 before I make a decision on him.
Yeah, I think for me, Kane, in comparison to maybe Lukaku and to a lesser extent, Ronaldo has been in form. He's the talisman of Man United. At least he's turned up. The Man United team is arguably as bad as Tottenham's at the moment in terms of form. You got Lukaku, who's playing in, third best team in the Premier League at the moment, and cheaper than Harry Kane. He's much more attractive to me at the moment. And even, Vardy has been in much better form than Kane at the moment. He's cheaper. Leicester playing slightly better than Tottenham. There's like a few players that are ahead for a few reasons than Kane. I know he's got that high ceiling. I know he's really good. And like we said, I'm basically agreeing with both of you, Ben and Lynn, that it's kind of wait and see. It's not a certainty, whereas Son has been in form. Final one in terms of...
Can I want to just play devil's advocate here. Buying into the Steven Gerrard loving and comparing the Premier League with Aston Villa and what he's done with Rangers, what a load of tosh. Mickey Mouse League with a club far superior. They only play a couple of games a season. The important games that he came up against, European football, done absolutely nothing. So while he may come down and may work wonders with Villa, look, I'll bide my time and I'll wait and see, but I'm expecting absolutely nothing from him. Look, what he done as a player will not mirror anything like what he's capable of as a coach. And the fact he's been out of the Premier League has evolved and it has changed so much during his short time away. So I'm not expecting anything from Steven Gerrard, and I'm certainly not expecting miracles from Aston Villa. Just thought I'd throw that one in there.
I see what you're saying, Ben, and I do agree the narrative might be overplayed just a tad because, like you said, Rangers are a juggernaut in Scotland. But I will say that I don't agree that he's done nothing in Europe. He did very, very well and almost an exemplary kind of defensive record. He went toe-to-toe with a lot of the bigger teams in Europe.
Beat off Slavia Prague.
But he did well against like Villarreal and people like that. He only got shellacked by Bayer Leverkusen because they're just so much better.
Leon this week. They drew with, hold on, who the hell's this? Last Kurt.
Yeah.
Who?
I mean, we all have our off days. I just think that the fact that he got that team to, was it the round of 16 last year? They lost to Slavia Prague 2-0 in the second leg. In terms of XG, that was a draw. And for me,
didn't be throwing your stats in it, man. Look, I looked at the score. Right? Let's just end the conversation there.
Don't do analysis. Well, let's move it on then to Newcastle. They're the last of maybe the prospects to wait on. I think there's some exciting prospects at Newcastle if Eddie Howe can get the team going. One of them for me is Richie. I mean, looking at his data, kind of phenomenal stuff. He's the second highest XA of any defender, just behind Trent Alexander-Arnold this season. In terms of chances created, he's in the top 4 for all players, so all positions, for total chances created this season. And the thing is, it's a good mix between open play and set pieces as well. Wilson is coming back. Obviously, he's quite injury prone, but there's some good players in there. He's a good manager for getting the best out of attacks, I would say. Bournemouth played some nice-ish football, but he's also pragmatic enough. and able to change his tactics. Ben, are you excited for Eddie Howe ball?
Yeah, can you not tell?
Is this up there with the signing of Geordie Joe Linton?
I mean, look, I think he's the best manager that we could have realistically expected. He's certainly a step up from Unai Emery, garbage him, by the way. So I'm glad we didn't get him. And I would have had Eddie Howe ahead of him every single day of the week. Let's not forget, we have some dross at that club at this moment in time. And what you lack in quality, you have to make up for in intensity, in work rate, in effort. And if anything that the players have learned over this short period of time that Eddie Howe has been in charge is that they've been working hard on the training pitches. I understand that in terms of he was quite surprised and almost shocked at the poor levels of fitness of the players. So he's been putting them through their paces, and he's been, getting them in nice and early and keeping them there and working them really hard. So what you will get a Newcastle team that has been energized by the new boss. And hopefully we're going to match the opposition in terms of output, distance covered, high intensity sprints. Interesting to see how the three sort of former Bournemouth players react. I'm thinking primarily Ryan Fraser. How much do you want to read into the fact that he refused to sign that contract extension when he was at Bournemouth? When Bournemouth needed him in that relegation fight, and he refused to agree that contract extension, which essentially ruled him out of playing competitive football for 6 months, and Bournemouth went down. Is there an axe, to bear there? We will see. Probably not. I don't think Eddie Howe can afford to give up totally on players like Ryan Fraser. But it'll be interesting to see. I still don't expect anything massive from Newcastle. A couple of players in January. We'll scrape 15th to 17th, maybe 14th. That'll do. I'm happy with that. So in terms of the assets, as you were, we're expecting Callum Wilson, yes. Who else could come to the party? We need to see Joe Willock stand up. And hopefully this international break's given an opportunity to get some rest, recover from that toe problem that's been hampering him since game week 6 or 7. And, if we can get him back, and with the likes of Almiron, maybe John Joe Selvey pulling a few strings and keep him fit, then at least we've got a decent platform to build on.
I mean, might be a small signing of like a Haaland or an Mbappe in January as well.
Maybe in the next 5 to 8 years.
Lynn, I guess, is there much to add with the Newcastle situation? I think it's a very, very big, if there's a turnaround, wait and see with them.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as well. Eddie Howe, for me, is an exciting option. And, I don't think I agree with the Unai Emery summarization that Ben gave. Even as an Arsenal fan, I would say he's not garbage, but I would say that maybe Eddie Howe is better suited to the...
Ever the diplomat, yeah. Ever the diplomat.